Ready.
Oh, snap! Someone's about to get slapped.
Knuckles is finally out on Paramount Plus, all 6 episodes, so I'm going to review it right here. Don't worry, I won't be spoiling anything. Before we get started though, make sure you leave a like, helps out a lot, but let's get right into it with my expectations of how this show was going to go in the first place. Because honestly, I was very excited for this show, I can't lie. I'm a big Knuckles fan, and you know, this little mini series sounded really fun. Just 6 episodes, 30 minutes or less each. Some were 25 minutes, some were like 28 minutes. You know, it's all in that range. Because, you know, he's my favorite part of the second Sonic movie, and I think the second Sonic movie is easily the best one out of the 2 so far. You know, and I don't love the Sonic movies. I think that they're a lot of fun, which I went into them expecting, but they have their issues, you know, like making the humans have their own plot line, which was the MonsterVerse's main issue with like Godzilla King of the Monsters. The humans have a big plot line, which I don't really care about. I just care about going into it with like you know, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles do their thing with, you know, Robotnik on the side. I don't really care about, you know, the other characters except James Marsden. We all love him and his character from the Sonic movies. And the premise of the show follows Knuckles the Echidna as he teaches Wade Whipple how to become an Echidna warrior. So now that you know the main premise, let me get my main issue out of the way, which is probably the worst part about the show. And you know, it's probably, you know, you could probably all guess what that main issue would be, and that there isn't enough Knuckles. It's called Knuckles, so I think that Knuckles should be there for the whole show. And he really isn't. I mean, there is a decent amount of Knuckles, but he has to share the screen with Wade Whipple. And I wish there was more, but there's not enough Knuckles for me to really think this show is great. I think that Wade Whipple, who's played by Adam Pally, and you know, he's a fine character, Wade is, but he's written like a child, which just turns me off from really liking him. Like, I don't really like him. I think he's fine. I could really get used to him, seeing him, but he just is written like a low IQ child. And I'm not trying to be too rude here, but I don't know why he's written so stupidly. I mean, you didn't have to really write him that badly. He could actually know some things, but they just write him and his family, which shows up in the show, like they're just low IQ people who don't know what's going on in the world and don't know, you know, how to actually punch someone. Except Wade's mom. And it's like, what are we doing here? I think that's the worst part. Like, not even James Marsden is written that bad. And Wade Whipple's supposed to be a sheriff, you know, a cop, and he acts like a child all the time. It just turned me off just a little bit. I don't really care for Wade, you know, he's okay, I can deal with him, but he's just written like such a child. I mean, it's a kid show, but that doesn't mean like all your characters need to be written like kids. And also, episode 4 of this, which is the worst episode in this whole show, it contains almost 0 Knuckles. You get about, you know, 15 seconds of Knuckles in the first part of that episode, but then the rest of it just focus on Wade. And I thought that was just the worst decision they could have made, because you know, it's a Knuckles show. It's Knuckles. I get you're trying to, you know, have him have this quest to make Wade a warrior, but that doesn't mean that that Wade needs his own episode to just do these silly things. Like, I just think that was just the worst decision they could have made. And you might as well call it Wade and Knuckles, because Wade is basically the lead of the show and they're basically sharing the screen. So why call it just Knuckles if Knuckles isn't going to be in it by himself? I would have rather just had Knuckles just be by himself, just exploring the world, just exploring everything each episode, than have him just teaching Wade the whole time. I thought that was the worst part of the show. But let's get to the villains of this show. You basically have 2 kind of villains chasing after Knuckles and Wade, who are played by Ellie Taylor and Kid Cudi. Happy to see Kid Cudi getting more roles, you know, after X. I thought he was great in that. And I think both these villains worked as a silly, not to take serious type of, you know, Looney Tunes characters. I think those are what I would compare to Wade. And I think that these type of characters are much better than Wade, because they're kind of stupid at times, but they can actually get stuff done. Wade can get stuff done, but he doesn't mean to do those kind of things, except, you know, for the final kind of fight of the show, which was a little disappointing, the final fight, and some of the fights were kind of disappointing, but I did like the fights with these 2 kind of side villains, because, you know, they're fun. Kid Cudi, I love Kid Cudi, so I like the villains here. But let's get to where we're all here to talk about, you know, the best part of the show, which is Knuckles, played by Idris Elba himself, you know, the legend we all know. I love Knuckles, man. As I said, he was my favorite part of the second film. He just has me cracking up within the first few minutes of this first episode. The way he always says things. There's literally one scene where he's just on the roof with the dog, and he's like, I don't even know how he got him up there. He just takes the dog anywhere. And he always, when he's talking to Sonic, he's just so annoyed. And he's like, when Sonic asks him a simple question, he's like, no. And he's like, no. And he's no. And he just builds stuff in the house. He gets grounded and he's like, what is this grounded we're talking about? The way he says things always comes across. It's just so funny. It makes me chuckle. And how he just hates everything. He hates Earth and he's like, I just want to be an Echidna warrior. How he punches. He also punches radios a lot and he discovers what a jam is, which I think was the best part. And it's like, you just have to have this. You just have to have Knuckles just doing some funny stuff, especially in that first episode. And it works so well. Like, you could have had that the whole series and it would have been so great. But you had to put a human character in here to take the shine from Knuckles. You had to do it. I don't know why they had to, but it sucks because his first few moments in here with Sonic and Tails were legendary. I love that a lot because, you know, Tails and Sonic aren't in it a lot. Don't get your expectations up for that. They're just in it for the first episode, so don't get your expectations up. But, you know, that first episode was easily, I think, the best episode with just Knuckles talking to Sonic and Tails for the most part. But the pace of the show, I think, flows pretty well outside of episode 4. It's just 6 episodes, as I said. They're all 30 minutes or less. Kind of a mini series, kind of sitcom. It's an easy watch, so I think the pace flows pretty well. But let's talk about Sonic for a second. Sonic 3 is coming out this year. We all are very excited for that. And, you know, basically the main reason we're all pretty excited because it is another Sonic film. And Shadow's finally going to show up. And maybe some other Sonic characters are going to show up. Who knows? But Sonic is going to come in and kick some ass. He's reportedly going to be voiced by Keanu Reeves, which I'm ecstatic about. You know, Keanu Reeves, of course, the John Wick legend that we all know and love. We all been wondering, when are we going to get that first trailer for Sonic 3? I'm guessing either in May to play in front of If, or sometime in the summer. You know, we got to get it within the next 3 months. Because the movie is about 7 months away and they want to start marketing it. I'm guessing we get that first teaser within the next 2 months. But I'm guessing maybe May to play in front of If. But yeah, I'm so excited for Sonic 3. But Knuckles as a show, overall, I think Knuckles was fun. It's a fun time. It's a fine time. I didn't hate it. I only hated episode 4. I just wish that they would have made Knuckles the main character and he would have been in it more. I don't really know their obsession with Wade, why they wanted to put him in it for so long. But yeah, I thought the first episode with Knuckles just by himself was really cool. Overall, I had a fun time. Will I ever go back to it? Maybe that first episode, but Knuckles, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. Yeah, I enjoyed most of it. Some parts I really didn't like, but yeah, I'd still give it a positive rating. So let me know down in the comments, did you guys watch Knuckles? Did you enjoy it? Leave your thoughts down below. If you did enjoy my review though, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. It's free to do so on the road to 700 subscribers. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.